From the Dow Championship at the Midland Country Club. This has kind of become an annual rite for us where we come and do the show here. And the reason is, folks, is because if we want to talk to anyone in the Great Lakes Bay region this week,
they're here.
They're here. This is the place, an amazing regional event. We talk about it all the time. Tara, is there a better event that showcases the Great Lakes Bay region than the Dow Championship?
I have not come across one. I mean, I'm looking at the Diamond Club tent right now just because it's right in front of me, and there are literally hundreds of people in there. And if my eyesight were better, I could probably name about 15 of them.
It's one of those events, and we got to see it yesterday. Tara and I, after the show, we had a meeting that we were waiting for, and we had a little bit of time. And there was a gentleman out on a patio, and he was clearly part of the LPGA tournament. He was LPGA staffer, and he was on a Zoom with folks from across the country. And he was talking about how, oh, yeah, it's a good 2 hours north of Detroit. Mm-hmm. And I came here, and he goes, wow, this place is beautiful. And everything you've ever heard about Michigan in the summer is true. This is a magnificent place, and Midland was such a cool town. And it's always very clear to us whenever we talk to the players, their caddies, the staff that comes in and does the broadcast, the setup, they are wowed by Midland and the Great Lakes Bay region whenever they're here. So, folks, what I would say to you, if you're listening and you have never been out here, today's your day. Let's go. It's going to get to 80 degrees. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Go to DowChampionship.com. Tickets are $10 to attend, $25 for the entire week. And kids are free.
With
a kid under
adult.
17 with a paying adult. So if you're out there going, what am I doing with the kids this weekend? We have your answer. And there's a kid center. There is Golfzilla. There's a STEM center. There's a lot of things going on. Mm-hmm. So we hope that you can make it out here and be a part of really what is one of the key showcase events. And if Craig Gosselin's listening, of course the Memorial Cup is too. But Goose, you know, we haven't had that in like a year. It's time for the Memorial Cup to come back, man. Like, I don't know what we're waiting for. Like, let's get to it. But we are joined next by one of the great community partners here at the Dow Championship, which is Special Olympics Michigan, which has been a partner with the Dow Championship for many years. And we have regional champion Robbie Wiklosky with us. Robbie, good morning. Great seeing you as always.
Good morning. Thank you again for having me.
Absolutely. So I'd love to start kind of the big picture, which I think is really important, because I think some people don't fully understand who Special Olympics is as an organization and who your athletes are. Can you give kind of the big picture of Special Olympics Michigan?
Sure. Special Olympics provides opportunities for children and adults with intellectual disabilities to be able to compete in sports, Olympic-style sports traditionally. And if you think about how sports impact every aspect of our culture, our daily lives, if you were not to have that opportunity, what that would mean, the impact it would have. But beyond that, as an organization, we use that opportunity, the sports, as a catalyst to help affect change, to help educate people, to help create more inclusive environment.
Yeah, I'm glad. I think it's always important that we talk about this first, because I think sometimes people have historically thought of Special Olympians as having physical disabilities, which many do. When you have intellectual disabilities, it can often be associated with a physical disability as well. But it's an organization for those with intellectual disabilities. Can you give a few examples of what that might entail for our listeners who just don't know?
It is typically from birth, but it can also be from like a head trauma or an accident or severe illness. Down syndrome is very common. The autism, and a lot of our athletes function at various different levels. So our competitions, we will often have different flights. We have athletes that play basketball that I won't get on the court with, and then there are some that you can tell they have physical challenges. It's a struggle just for them to be able to get out there. And so that's why we'll do that. We'll have different flights, different levels, so that everybody can compete. Everybody can show that they are capable. They may have to do it differently. It may take them more time, but everybody can participate.
Yeah, so full disclosure for the listeners, I think a lot of you know I had a career in politics for a long time. And when I moved back to Michigan, I wanted out of politics. I needed a break. And I actually was with Special Olympics Michigan for 2 years as their chief development officer, and was able to see and experience so much of this firsthand. I think some of my favorites, yes, to your point, basketball. That Detroit basketball team comes in. I am not jumping on the court with them at all. I'm like, wait a minute, that guy just take 2 dribbles and reverse dunk the basketball? It was kind of an eye-opening experience of that Special Olympics. I have been in the bowling center and watched our athletes bowl the 300. I have been at powerlifting. And if you've never been to a Special Olympics powerlifting competition, those are some incredibly strong athletes. So I think also sometimes people think, oh, it's Special Olympics, and you have the mentality that maybe the folks aren't very good at the games they're playing. Quite the opposite. There are elite level athletes and people to all ages, but I will say all ages and all talent levels. I will say we do have those that also have some extreme physical limitations. And I've been in those rooms, Robbie, and I've left with tears in my eyes because I have watched parents celebrate a simple act of an athlete in a wheelchair throwing the ball from the wheelchair into a basket right next to them. And that was a big achievement. That hadn't been done. It was something very difficult, and it meant so much to that entire family. And I've been in those rooms, and I have to tell you, when I leave those rooms, you know, my understanding of what Special Olympics means changed dramatically. And you kind of see everything, right? From that to the kid from Detroit reverse dunking a basketball, that's the spectrum, and you can see almost everything. So when we talk about the Dow Championship, Robbie, you guys are part of, I think, what's become, quite frankly, the most popular side event here, which is the 3-hole challenge. Can you talk about what the Special Olympics 3-hole challenge is here at the Dow Championship?
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to work with Dow and the organizers of the tournament in the very first year, and we've been able to do this event each year. They have to get special permission from the LPGA to even allow us on the course because it is a closed course for the tournament. And we bring out Special Olympic athletes, and they have been able to scramble the last 3 holes, 16, 17, and 18, on the morning of the cut when the field is reduced. And so we get out there before the pro ladies will get near us, and they get to showcase their ability. They're hitting over the pond onto that island green on 18 in front of the grandstand. And Suzanne Pedersen and Corey Pavin, who are ambassadors for Dow, have been there supporting them. All of the Dow leadership. It's been a special highlight for our athletes, and I think the people in the community have been able to watch it, and the word has spread and has become a very popular event. Our friends at TaylorMade are sponsoring it now. This will be the 4th year that they have sponsored it for us. It's really fun to be able to show the community just how impressive our athletes are.
And after the break, we get to speak with Adam, who has in the past taken part in that 3-hole challenge, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and Tara, you do a lot of work personally at Camp Fishtail, so I know a lot of your campers there are also Special Olympians. So you understand, these athletes and how much sport means to them to be able to compete, to be able to participate. But what I love what you do is very similar to some of the programming that we see in the schools now with unified programs. You and your family and your kids are out there where you take people that don't have intellectual disabilities, and they're partnering, with the campers there. This is another one of those great programs that you guys do, which is a unified program, which literally takes people that don't have intellectual disabilities, and they're directly competing with, alongside, and interacting. And I can tell you from the Bay City Public Schools standpoint, at least, we have a remarkable program, especially over at Handy Middle School, Central High School, robust unified programs that have a massive difference in the lives of just not the students with or without intellectual disabilities, but both sides, that they really learn to understand each other, compete with each other. And I think too often younger kids can see someone with a disability and they shy away. They don't know how to interact. These programs help get both communities to understand how they can compete together, work together, play together. How important has the development of unified programs been, Robbie?
it has been the single largest, fastest growing aspect of Special Olympics around the world. In Michigan, in the last 10 years, we went from being in about 150 schools to we are now in over 600 schools statewide. And so what you're talking about is critical to our mission, to trying to educate, trying to promote, trying to create a more inclusive environment in our schools and in our communities.
And I think oftentimes, it's not necessarily about the actual activity or the sport or whatever it might be that they're doing, because I've had numerous conversations with the people taking part in these, in that sense of independence that they get from being able to compete on those levels, or any activities that they're doing is extremely important to them and to their caregivers.
Yep. Yeah, the sport is like the catalyst.
Yeah.
It's what we use to bring everybody together with a common purpose, and then the growth happens from there.
Yeah. Well, Robbie, we appreciate you being here. We're going to cut you short, though. We're going to take a commercial, and when we come back, as Tara said, we're going to be joined by Special Olympics athlete Adam White after these messages.
Reliable.
And everyone that we want to talk to is here at the Midland Country Club this week. And I'm excited now because we get to chat with one of the athletes of Special Olympics Michigan, Adam White. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning.
So my first question for you is, how old are you, Adam?
I am 26.
Paul, you want to help me out?
26.
26, thank you. So we also have Adam's dad, Paul, the illustrious Paul White, who I know everyone out there knows Paul well. Adam, so you've got to golf in the 3-hole challenge before?
Yes.
How many times did you get to do it?
4.
4 different times.
Mm-hmm.
So my question for you is, how well did you do? Did you golf well when you did it?
And I say yes.
Yes?
Mm-hmm.
So what of the 3 holes, there's 16, 17, and 18, what's your favorite one to play?
None of my favorite one is not the last one.
The last one, hole 18, right?
Oh,
Do you like the water?
yes.
So my question is, did you hit it into the water?
Hit the water in the green. So that real close to the hole.
So you hit the green and got close to the hole over the water?
Mm-hmm.
So you and I cannot golf together because you're going to make me look bad because you're clearly much better than me. How long have you been golfing?
About 3 years.
3 years. And you got that good that fast?
Mm-hmm.
So other questions. So besides golf, what other sports do you do with Special Olympics?
We have the swim.
Swim. Okay, very cool. What event do you do in swim?
The swim is first shell and first stroke.
Okay. Breaststroke. And what was the first one, Paul? Oh, freestyle.
Yes.
Freestyle and breaststroke. And where do you do those at here in Midland? Is it at the high school?
For the middle school, and my old school in the Northeast.
Oh, at Northeast?
Yes.
Oh, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul, you're going to have to remind me, Northeast. Is that the Vikings?
Yes.
That is the Vikings. My
Yes,
Midland
correct.
knowledge coming in. And so this year you did not do the 3-hole. Do you want to do it again in the future?
I say yes to that.
What's your favorite part? Is it all the fans? Is it that you're with some of your friends? Is it that you're here where it's all set up for the tournament? What's your favorite part?
And my favorite part, like they hit the golf ball.
Hitting the goal.
Oh, hitting the golf ball.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's, again, you're way past me because sometimes I don't even hit the golf ball when I'm out there with playing. So you definitely keep having me beat. So are you still in school at this point, Adam?
I am done for the school.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's good. Are you happy that you're done with school?
yes.
That was a really
Yeah.
quick answer with the yes.
Well, and you should ask him why, because he did go to Saginaw Valley State University for 2 years through their Think Cardinal program. It was a phenomenal experience. He was in the actual classroom, and the instructors, the professors there, really worked hard to help him. and get some big ideas in his head and stuff. So the experience was great. But now he's a permanent part-time worker with the City of Midland Parks and Rec.
And what do you do for the Parks and Rec department, Adam?
So they pick their load truck, they clean the bathrooms, then tables, and then they weigh whack.
Okay.
Weed whack, and you empty a lot of trash bins, clean the bathrooms so they're clean at all our parks. Yeah.
And what's your favorite part of your job? What do you like the most?
It's like clean the bathrooms.
Okay. Do you love working with your coworkers? Do you like the people that you see every day?
Yes.
So, quick story, I just have to inject. Adam's cleaning the mirrors with some of the guys in one of the restrooms, and he finishes cleaning the mirror, and he steps back, looks at himself in the mirror, and says, "Hello, handsome." Now, who could get away with that?
Definitely not me, and definitely not you. But Adam can get away with it for multiple reasons. Number one, because it's accurate, and he was saying the truth. But number two, everyone loves that attitude, right? You want to have self-confidence, right?
Yes.
And you want to have fun, and you want to be funny. And it's very clear that you do all of those. I have a feeling the funny came from Dad and the good looks came from Mom, though, correct?
Yep. Mom and Dad, they love.
Yeah. And so I'm guessing Mom and Dad, they take you to all your places, right? Are they the ones that get you to work and get you home from work? And
Yes.
He gets home from work riding Dial Ride every day, which we're very grateful for.
You know, I love hearing that regional transit here in Midland, and that you can take Dial-A-Ride. And Adam, is it easy? Do you call and just say, "Hey, I'm done with work. I need a ride"?
Yes. And down the call, and everybody that ride, their people comes in there, and they drive their home. They're that. Yes.
I love it. So, Paul, I have a quick question for you as a dad, right? And, you know, when you have a child with an intellectual disability like that, your involvement is, you know, maybe at a different level than the everyday parent. What do you want people to know about Adam, and just kind of about not so much the challenges he faces, because what I've learned with Special Olympians and with our athletes, they handle their challenges just fine. They live every day with joy, and they're productive. But I think a lot of times the concern is maybe people, when they see someone that has an intellectual disability or Down syndrome, they don't know quite how to act, or they don't know what they're capable of. What do you want people to know as a parent?
I think that one of the things I learned when I was president of the ARC Michigan, which is an advocate group. There's the ARC of Bay County, the ARC of Midland, and Saginaw has a chapter and stuff. And they said that loneliness kills more people each year than smoking. And when I heard that, one of the biggest challenges for people with disabilities is friendships. And so it takes some additional patience and some additional skills. So Adam has been the catalyst for me learning some character traits that have made me the person I am today. It's such a blessing to have a child with disabilities. There's, you know, sometimes I think I wish every family did, because you see the world differently, through a different lens, through a different set of eyes. And, you know, he has apraxia, which is a little speech, so he's a little hard to understand. So I have learned patience. It takes patience if you want to be friends with Adam. There's a lot of benefits to that, because he's a fun guy to be around. But it takes good listening skills and patience. And I have learned that because of Adam, and that has benefited me in all of my other relationships across my entire life. And I'm so grateful for that. And I think that if people were open and patient and took the time to approach someone with disabilities and just ask them simple questions, how you doing today? And so what are you doing here? And what's your favorite things? And stuff like that. The answers that you get. There's one more piece to this. We went to a basketball tournament. Adam's a pretty good basketball player. And we were at a tournament, and I was around 200 to 250 Special Olympians. And I thought to myself, everyone should be required to go to something like this, because when you look around, you're seeing these athletes overcome obstacles. And while you're looking and it's like, well, they're not the best dribbler in the world, they are for themselves. They put everything out there, and there's so much joy that they get to compete. You know, Robbie was talking earlier about that. It's amazing when you experience watching other people. You just walk away inspired because you know they're doing their best. And when you see the joy they bring themselves, the teammates that they have, and their parents and siblings and everything, it's just an incredible life experience.
Well, Adam, now that I know that you love basketball, I have one final question. Who's your favorite player?
Michael Jordan.
Michael, that he went with the GOAT. There is no better answer than that. This is the perfect answer. Adam, so happy that you're here today. Paul, thank you both for joining me. And the next time you play in the 3-hole challenge, Tara and I are going to be there rooting you on. Thank you guys for being here today, and we'll be back. Hey, welcome back to the Art Lewis Show. It's Matt Blon filling in for Art. And folks, I got to be honest. There are certain times in life when you are surrounded by people that have thoughts about you. And right now, I am in between a rock and a hard place. I'm not going to lie. Art Lewis is next to me. He's got a break from tea announcing on number 1, so he has a few minutes to come and listen to the Art Lewis Show to make sure that it's, you know, going correctly. So he's on one shoulder, and my daughter, 15-year-old Alexandra Fallon, is on the other. And I don't know, you know, which one's the harsher critic, you know, which one's going to have more advice for me today. But I got to tell you, folks, a lot of pressure. This is probably the most pressure I'm ever going to face hosting the Art Lewis Show, but we're going to make it through. So we are here at the Midland Country Club at the Dow Championship. It's kind of become our annual location. Art started it by coming out one day a week and interviewing Jim Fitterling and being out here. And then he goes to tea announce, and I was hosting in the studio, and I said to Art, what are we doing? The entire region is at the Midland Country Club this week. We should just do the show from there. And Art and the station have been great sports, and they said, you're right, let's go. You're doing the show. So it's worked out well, and we're here with our next partners that are part of the Dow Championship. We have our friends from The Rock, the other Tara Welch, as she is known, and Amanda Confer, an engagement specialist with The Rock. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. How does it feel being the other Tara, by the way? I mean, is that are you gotten used to that moniker in the region?
Well, you know, when I'm in the room, I call her the other Tara, so it just depends who's here.
That is fair. So if you ever know the two Kristens that worked at Midland Center for the Arts once upon a time, you had Kristen Werfel and Kristen Squire. I always called them K1 and K2, but the joke was whichever one I saw was K1. And so they always joke about who's who. So totally fair. So The Rock, how are you guys a partner here this year with the Dow Championship?
So we applied to be a team-up partner this year and got chosen. And we are so excited to be paired with Ronnie and Gino, who actually won the championship last year. So it's been a lot of fun to watch them play and cheer them on so far this morning. And we're really glad to be here.
So that's awesome. So they're already out. They were early flight. How are they doing so far?
Right now there's...
Last time we checked, they were even.
Yes.
Okay, so they're even par. Do we know what place they're in?
They were tied at 7.
Okay. A lot of golf to be played. I will tell you, ladies, historically, that's a good thing. Historically, the teams that have competed well here do that year after year. I don't know why. The very first winners were Sydney Clanton and Jasmine Swanapura, and in year 2 they finished second. And so we have seen many times the group that finishes first or second and first, they seem to compete at a high level. There are certain ladies that have a great comfort level on the course, but I think more importantly, are great teammates on the course.
Yes.
So you have a shot.
Yes.
So for our listeners, what does that mean for you? If they win, what does that mean for The Rock?
If they win, we get to have a bigger grant to our organization. And I believe it's an extra $11,000 that will be granted to go towards all of our programming here at The Rock.
So do the ladies know, like, when you go out there, have you said hello and we're your team-up partner? And this is what it means. And by the way, if you don't perform well, we're going to suffer, and our kids are all going to be distraught. So you got to bring your A game. I mean, do you put the pressure on them?
We did not put the pressure on them. I will say this morning when we showed up, they were like in the zone. And so we just held up our signs, and they know we're here. They know that we support them, but they're in the zone today. And it's been a lot of fun to watch them interact with each other because their camaraderie is really fun and really impressive. You can tell they're having fun together. They are actually friends in real life. They enjoy each other's company, and it makes a difference when you're watching a team have a good time like that. It's really cool.
So you know it's probably good that you don't apply the pressure. It's probably they know that you're there. And I think, at least in chatting with a lot of the golfers through the years, they love the community component that this event brings, whether it's veterans, STEM, there's Golfzilla out there. They can see that this is a true regional event. It's a community event, that they know that they're playing for more than just themselves. Now, by the way, I talk about this all the time. There's nothing wrong with winning, and there's nothing wrong with earning money. So, as you said, they're in the zone. You're in their office today, right? This is a work day for these ladies, and they have worked a very long time to get to the pinnacle of being in, one of the top 5 purses outside of the majors. This is a big deal for them, so you can understand why they probably didn't want to come over and hug it out and ask, how life is. So we get it.
They got our thumbs up this morning.
Yeah, totally. So I'll tell you what, we're going to take a break. When we come back, though, I want to hear more about the Rock, about summer programming, and how folks can engage with your organization after these messages.
Who knew?
Matt Fallon with the Great Lakes Bay Regional Alliance, and we are with one of the great team-up partners here at the Dow Championship, our friends from The Rock. I have Tara Welch and Amanda Confer. So I'm not going to lie, I talk to Tara all the time. And so we're going to put Amanda on the spot now, who's an engagement specialist. What is your role at The Rock?
Yeah, so my role is community engagement. I do all of our grant applications and then help promote all the important work we do at The Rock.
How long have you been in this role?
Since December, so 6 months in.
So you are a seasoned veteran. I mean, you know all the ins and outs.
In the nonprofit world, things move fast, yes.
I love it. So, Tara, just as a reminder for our listeners who may not be familiar with The Rock, can you explain the work of your organization?
Yes, we are a youth development center that focuses on 2 pillar programs. The first one is Out of School Time, which is located in Midland and also Bay County, and that is after school and summer programs. And then we have Discover You, which is our content that we created when we saw a gap that students really needed those 21st century job skills. And so we go in and teach the soft skills to local schools, out of school time professionals, and then across the state we train adults who impact youth with that program.
I love it. And here in the region, you've kind of always been known as a Midland group, but I know those tentacles are reaching out these days. Where all are you guys doing programming and services now?
Yeah, we're doing programming in the 3, so Saginaw Bay and Midland, and that's a mix between OST and Discover You. It just depends where we're at. So for example, in Midland and Bay, we've been working with the juvenile justice centers, and that has been really impactful work that we really love doing. And then we opened up a new location at Delta College for out of school time. So we're very into collaboration. How can we work with other organizations to improve the lives of young people? And we're open to all possibilities. And so I think that's why those tentacles are spreading, because we have a really great team who likes to get out there and work.
So you know me, I'm all regional all the time.
Yep.
Our friends in Isabella County and with the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe, when you knocking on the door, when should I let them know you're going to be calling? Is that on the horizon?
Yeah. That would be awesome. We would love to get to Isabella County. What we focused on this past year was getting all of our out-of-school time sites licensed, so that took a lot of work, and we're really proud of our team for the success they had with that. And we get a lot of questions about that because some people ask, they're like, well, do you have to be licensed for the type of program you do? Well, technically no, but we want to make sure that we're offering the best program that we can for all of our families, and being licensed was like that next step to get that validation from the state that we are doing the right things with our kids, all of our staff is properly trained, and we continue that training. So now we can go to Isabella because we got that big project done. So
yeah, and you raise a good point there. Like, do you have to have that? No. But do parents and does the community feel better
Yeah.
when they hear that licensure is in place, when they hear that you've taken that step? Absolutely they do. And so I think that that's going to do nothing but help your programming as you move forward. So I'm going to move back to Amanda. Since you've been in this role here the last 6 months, what have you found to be kind of the most rewarding parts of the job?
The passion of everyone that I work